All right, you guys ready for the next battle box? I've got the March 2023 box. Feels really dense, like there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So let's open this thing up and see what we got this month. What's up guys, Eric here with At Home in the Future, and I'm back with another Battlbox unboxing. So in the unlikely event that you're unfamiliar with Battlbox, this is like the OG subscription kind of outdoor survival prepper cool gear type box. Comes in 4 different flavors, all the way down from really affordable in the basic box to up in the Pro Plus box, which costs more but comes with more stuff. If you want to get the subscription for yourself and save yourself some money, follow the link on the screen or down in the description. This is the Pro Plus box for March of 2023. Feels really densely packed inside this. Last month was kind of a skinny box, and this month they're back to like the thick white one. So we will see what's inside this thing. Always fun, always an interesting mix of stuff. So here we go. All right, kind of pop this over to the side here. Mission brief 97. We're getting really close to 100. Lots of folks talking online about what may be in that box. But here's a quick look at the 97 mission brief. It looks like there's a little note here we'll come back to. Mention the Pro Plus item here. All right, interesting stuff. Kind of a wild looking knife there, and it's a 2-knife month. All right, that's always fun. So let's, as always, jump right in with the basic box. We have some Epic wipes. I'm actually familiar with these. All right, so a few different versions of these. So these bad boys, I hate to open these on camera because I actually want to use them, but I'll leave them in their package here. But think of a wet wipe. Think of something like a Wet Ones or even like a Lysol wipe, little packets of those come in. Now think of that like an absolutely jumbo size. So this is one wet wipe right here. And look, there's 2 different sizes of these, but look how thick these are already. If you look at the specs on here, this is their XL size one, 1.5 feet by almost 3 feet long. And then just the large size is 1 feet by 2 feet. Even that is giant. So what these are super good for is like a campground, you're gross, take a shower in your tent type of thing. Went camping with some buddies a while back, and we were floating down a river all day and stuff, and getting in the tent at night, man, I was gross. And I had a big pack of those like dude wipe things, which are awesome, but I went through about 20 or 30 of those just trying to get non-gross to get in the sleeping bag at night and go to bed. So having one of these would have been absolutely awesome, especially this one, which is basically the size of a towel. Pretty nuts. So really cool product. So yeah, the little rundown here says they're 16 times larger than a standard wipe, and you only need the one, and they're made with good stuff too, instead of some of the chemicals and everything that comes with their stuff. So I actually think that's a cool thing to have in these boxes. This is something you'll probably throw in a glove box or in a little kit, and you may think like, oh, that's, you know, kind of cool, I guess, until you actually need it, and this thing is killer. So love to see that. Cool first item. Next up, we have from ReadyWise, which makes a lot of survival food, Sunrise Strawberry Granola Crunch. Interesting. So I'm actually a fan of snacks in boxes and stuff, so I'm not opposed to seeing stuff like this in the box. I wonder, yeah, isn't this funny? The best by date is in 2037. So a good 15 years from now. You know, the first thing I thought of when I saw this, ReadyWise and some of these other companies are all about making freeze-dried foods, like survival foods. And I was thinking, like, I guess you can freeze-dry the strawberries, but does granola freeze-dried? Does it even do anything? Like, what are you even taking out of it? This is pretty fun here at the top. There's jokes and everything on the package. Anyway, long story short, this says 2.5 servings per container, which in reality, when you actually eat the stuff, if you're a guy camping, you're probably chowing down this whole bag for breakfast. But yeah, it says eat in the pouch, just add some water, made in the USA, a nice snack there. And looking at some of the next items that come up in the basic box here, it looks like we kind of have a campground eating theme here. So Stanley, the all-in-one food jar. Let's see if I can figure out which item is which here. All right, so we'll do that next. That's the cup set. I think this must be the food jar. All right, here we are. So Stanley, it's interesting. I feel like these guys are having a resurgence the last few years. They've become TikTok famous. Lots of the giant cups you see people drinking out of that are like 40 or 50 ounces or something. I see those all over work. That's become really popular all of a sudden. But yeah, this is your classic grandpa style food container. Big old space inside of it, paperwork and all that too. But vacuum insulated, a big thick seal on that. So the first thing I think of is like throwing some soup in this thing and going out, and because you kind of have this built-in bowl that you can put right on top. Even a fork contained in this, which I guess is kept on with this little strap. I'll have to cut that later on. The specs here, this thing is 18 ounces, keep things hot for 12 hours and cold for 12 hours. And a funny list of claims here in the back. This thing has survived a negative 70-degree wind chill, 4,000 foot drops, speeding bullets, Category 5 hurricanes. Yeah, these things are great. Awesome to throw in the pantry and have when you need it. I wonder if it's dishwasher safe. No, it does say it's hand wash only, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I think that's kind of how it goes. But cool, Stanley stuff. Can take a beating. There's a reason your grandpa uses it. It's probably because he's had it for 50 years and still uses it whenever he needs it. So that's cool. And the next one we'll look at here is their nesting 2-cup cook set. Looks like it has a few different functions, even like a strainer and stuff built in. So let me see if I can figure out how to open this thing up. Twist the top here. We have a little bit of tape on it, I guess, to keep it closed and shipping. Here's our strain lid, which again is super, super handy. So we got paperwork and, okay, cool. So you got this pot, which you can put directly in a fire. It's got this little cinch system for keeping the handle down and actually using it like that. But we also have two, pretty sturdy, thick plastic cups. And these are dishwasher safe. That's great. I have a feeling this may be as well. Yeah, dishwasher safe. So that's cool to see with that. But it's nice. It's got measurements right down the side, which you can see on the inside here to help you figure stuff out a little bit. So it says the pot is 24 ounces. Same little claim over here with all the different things that they've survived. Made of 18-8 stainless steel, BPA free and everything. So this is the kind of thing, it's just, man, if you camp at all, this is so much fun to use this stuff outside, but also just super, super handy. I like how compact it is. When you're trying to save space and keep your gear all organized and stuff, it's nice to be able to just throw this stuff all together. There's a little lock mechanism for the handle, by the way. Squeeze this together, holds itself in place, throw it in a bag, and really this is fairly light for what it is too. Really cool. So man, that's actually a really great basic box from Battlbox. You get all this gear in that. If you move up to the advanced box, next up, it looks like we have a power bank, and actually kind of a fancy power bank here. So this is from PodX. I've seen their stuff for like car chargers, but it says this is a dual USB charger and LED light. Look at this, it's got like this lantern thing built into the side here. So let's pop this open. It says this is solar, which I'll be honest, I'm generally kind of skeptical with solar power banks. But look at that, you know, I'm actually kind of close to a window here and immediately it picks up and says it's charging a little bit. So that may actually be a reliable one. I feel like most of the solar power banks I've seen, they'll have like a panel built in. Now this one actually looks pretty nice just from knowing my solar panels a little bit now. But I've had some in the past that have had the solar panels on it and they're basically worthless. Like you could leave it out, just baking probably in the desert all day and get maybe like a 5% charge. So I'll have to test this and see how much it actually will charge from the sun. Now, of course, you can charge it with old-fashioned wall wart. Looks like it has micro USB is the cable it includes with it. So we have a few different cables built in here for charging. Regular USB, there's your micro USB charging port if you want to charge from a wall outlet. Okay, let's see if we can actually get these lights on. Okay, so there's our charge level if we were actually charging something. Okay, so I double tapped and I got a little front flashlight there. That's a little bit of a surprise. There we go. So you press and hold it, which is, again, hard to tell on camera with this stuff. You actually get a pretty bright, very interesting little kind of floodlight style lantern built into this. So, man, I actually dig this. Power banks, I feel like, are kind of all over the place lately, where everybody and their mom seems to make one. But this one, the PodX Fusion, pretty compelling. I'm going to leave it over here and let it charge while I finish the video. That's really cool. So that was your advanced box item. Next up, we have the Pro Plus box, and we're getting into knife territory here. So let's move this stuff out of the way. So 2 knives this month, CRKT. We have the M16 04SS. Let's take a look at that first. So we've got a folder here. Oh, by the way, it looks like there is a, for ReadyWise, we have a 25% off code. That's pretty cool. I wonder if you can use that in their big kits. Yeah. All right, so if you need to stock up and get some of this stuff, which is probably a good idea, you can do that with that. All right, here's our knife here, and it's much larger. Wow, much larger than I thought it would be. So the M16 04SS, we've got a flipper. All right, actually pretty smooth action. That is giant. Look how big this thing is. Much larger than I expected. Looks like it is a frame lock too. Very smooth. I wouldn't have expected it given the size. It's weird because you flick it open and it feels like it just kind of, well, you're going to chop your finger off too if you get your finger through those holes. It feels like it just kind of, it doesn't sling open hard, but it keeps going, where it definitely keeps following that curvature to open up. So I wonder if that's on bearings. It doesn't look like it. A little hefty. Okay, let's get, before I get totally sideways with this thing, we have Sandvik 12 C27 blade steel, stainless steel handles, B-blast finish. It's a frame lock, like I said, reversible clip. Looks like the clip has tip up, tip down, can be all over the place. Not quite deep carry, but for the size of this thing, you're gonna have very little knife poking out. It does have thumb studs, although, yeah, I can't really get a good purchase on the thumb studs there. But that flipper is actually very nice. Little Tonto drop point. Some jimping here in the back. Interesting, I'll tell you what, like looking at it in the picture here and actually holding it in hand is much nicer in person and in hand than just looking at it in the picture. Sometimes these skeletonized scales I feel like can come across just kind of cheap on knives like this, but man, this thing is slick. So it says this is the popular M16 design by the late Kit Carson, making a comeback now. So that's a pretty freaking great blade for the Pro Plus box. Not bad so far. It is very, very large. So if you're into large knives, you're gonna love this. If you're looking for like a small little EDC blade to throw in a pocket, this may not be you, or it may be you, especially if you work in kind of a hard use environment where you need a bigger blade. This thing's pretty great. I am a little worried because I have smaller diameter fingers here. For the skeletonized scales, I'm gonna slip my pinky in there and chop it off a little bit like a cigar. Wow, actually really like that though. So that's the CRKT M16 04SS. Very cool blade. Let's skip over to the Pro Plus item here. And we have another knife, this time as a fixed blade, and I think a little bit smaller in practice. Now let's jump over real quick because I saw something right at the start here. So they have a note saying, hey, they planned this knife months ago, and since then the MSRP has actually dropped on it, which is typically a good thing if you're buying something yourself. But they said the value didn't feel like it's totally there for the Pro Plus box. So it looks like I saw a little Battlbox gift card actually at the bottom of the box here. So that's pretty cool. They actually give you $20 you can use on anything in the store if you want to make up for the loss in value in that. So super cool Battlbox. That's the kind of thing they didn't really have to do, but I like that they thought of that. So let's jump into this knife, the Williamson Bird Dog. Let's check it out. By the way, here's the top of the box. You got 440C stainless steel. Looks like it was kind of a bead blasted dark finish. All right, cool scales. We've got a sheath. All right, check it out. We got a little patch that just came out of the box too. That's cool. Has a nice sheath. Smells good. Smells like we got some real leather. A little belt loop there. All right, look at this guy. Wow, that feels great in hand. What a cool profile. So you've got a little drop point there, some higher jimping on the back, not much branding or anything on the blade. You got these really interesting ridges here with that. I'm guessing this is G10 handles. Let's take a look. Yeah, G10 handles with texturing, nice 90-degree spine for doing some bushcraft stuff, and this very much just the colorway. I think it comes in a few different colors, judging by the picture they had in the guide there, but just it almost looks like whittled wood, which is exactly what you want to do if you're sitting around the fire. Man, it's actually very, very comfortable. Good choil there for the fingers, got a little lanyard loop down, full tang, goes all the way down, but I really like that just beat to crap stone wash finish on it. Gives it kind of a muted matte finish. Yeah, that is a really cool fixed blade knife. Now they mentioned you could use it for EDC. Some people have been EDCing fixed blades. In my walk of life, that's just not something I could probably get away with, but I could see the appeal of that. I really do like the sheath on it. Looks like a few different ways to lash that down too. But man, this thing is super comfortable. You wouldn't think, looking at all these different ridges and little divots built in here, but not only is it comfortable, like the bottom where your hand finds purchase, but your fingers kind of settle into these grooves. Just very grippy, very nice. So, well, super cool. So all in all, that is a pretty fantastic battle box this month. 2 awesome knives. We've got this awesome Stanley cook set. We've got this solar charger that actually works really well. We've got some wipes. We've got some granola snacks. We got all sorts of cool stuff. Super cool. So if you want to get the subscription for yourself and save yourself some money too, follow the link on the screen or down the description. Get yourself a good deal on it. Battlbox is always super fun, always a really good, probably the best mix of stuff in any of the subscription boxes I get. Really, really interesting every month. But that is it for this month's unboxing. As always, if you dug this video, be sure to hit the like button because it helps the channel out a ton, and subscribe if you want to see more cool boxes like this. We'll see you next time.